Okay, so number 5 asks us to write all of these key features and all these values using our calculator, okay? So we push y equals, and we're going to start by graphing this function. So 2x squared minus 5x minus 9. And I want to look at this under a standard window, and my function pops up. Okay, now I can't see the bottom of that function. I need to go a little bit lower on my y window. So my y minimum is at negative 10 right now. I'm going to switch that to maybe negative 20 so I can see that graph. Okay, so the first thing they're asking us to find are my x-intercepts. Okay, these are the points that where the graph hits the x-axis. Second, calculate. Zeros means x-intercepts. And then we do the left bound. So the first point I want to find is this one right here. So I want to go to the left a couple times, push enter for left bound, go back to it, but then push to the right a few times to find the right bound. You do not have to guess, and it gives you your first x-intercept at negative 1.21, comma 0. To find my next x-intercept, I do the exact same thing. I just want to do it for the right side. So second, calculate, choose 0, and now I got to swing my cursor all the way around to the left side. Okay, left bound means be on the left side, push enter. Right bound, go to the right side, push enter. You don't have to guess. And this one comes out to be about 3.7 comma, and then you get that weird notation. That's negative 1 times 10 to the negative 12th, which is 0. Okay, to find the y-intercept, there's a lot of different ways to do this. I actually find it's easier to figure this out without a calculator. To find a y-intercept, x has to equal 0. So if you put in 0 for your x's, this would be 2 times 0 squared minus 5 times 0 minus 9. You'll notice that all of these things cancel. That's 0, and the only thing that's left is your c value. It's negative 9. So your x-intercept is 0, negative 9. Let me box these so it doesn't get too confusing. Your vertex. Okay, this graph, the vertex is at the bottom, so we call that a minimum. So second, calculate, choose minimum, and now I want to be on the left side of the vertex, the left bound, push enter, go to the right side and go to the right side of the vertex, push enter, you don't have to guess, and it comes out to be 1.25 for the x and negative 12.125 for the y. Okay, so for the rest of these, the axis, symmetry, symmetrical point, the key features, I'm going to actually start to graph this before anything else happens. So I come to my graph. Let me switch out the calculator. Okay, so the first point are my x-intercepts at negative 1.21. So negative 1.21 is about here, and 3.7. So 1, 2, 3.7 is about there. I have a y-intercept at 0, negative 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's about there. And I've got a vertex at 1.25 and negative 12.125. So 1.25 here. And then here's negative 9, 10, 11, 12. It's way down at the bottom. Let me slide that up so you can see it. Okay, so this is my vertex down here, so that's going to be the lowest part. So this graph is very steep. It's been vertically stretched. And I can see the left side here. Okay, now before we go any further in the graphing part, let's answer this question. It says, find the axis of symmetry. Well, the axis of symmetry is the line that runs right through the vertex. It's a vertical line. So let me draw that in. That is my axis of symmetry. Okay, because it's a vertical line, we write every equation as x equals, all vertical lines are x equals, and if it runs right through the vertex, well, what was the x value of the vertex? It was at that 1.25. So your axis symmetry is x equals 1.25. And let's put that in our notes. X equals 1.25. Now what this helps us do is it helps us see the symmetries, okay? If you look, here's my x value. How far from my y-intercept did it go to get to my x's symmetry? Well, we went over 1.25, right? So then in order to get to my symmetrical point, I'm going to have to go over another 1.25, which puts us, if you add them up, gives you 2.5. Now, the y value didn't change. It's straight over from the y-intercept. So if my y-intercept was at -9, this is going to be at -9 as well. And there's my symmetrical point. It's at 2.5, -9. And now I'll have all the points that I need to graph in order to come up with my nice symmetrical parabola.